Breaking: Brazil sues China over electric vehicle labor scandal. Gaza truce stalls amid new airstrikes. India slashes interest rates amid growth fears. South Africa faces electricity riots. The United Nations warns of famine risk in Sudan. Russia deploys naval fleet to the Arctic. Welcome to World Wrap, your global news snapshot for Tuesday, June 3, 2025. Let's take you around the world in under 10 minutes. Top headlines. First, the quick-fire global headlines. Tensions flare at the United Nations as India and Pakistan trade accusations over cross-border terrorism, following recent diplomatic tours. China unveils a sweeping national AI ethics and governance framework, aiming to set global standards. The European Central Bank president strongly signals an upcoming interest rate hike, rattling Eurozone markets. And an African Union emergency summit concludes with a new multi-billion-dollar plan to combat food insecurity across the continent. In South Asia, diplomatic friction intensified today. Following its delegation's visit to Liberia, India's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj, delivered a sharp statement condemning state-sponsored terrorism, widely interpreted as targeting Pakistan. Pakistan's Ambassador Munir Akram, in turn, accused India of escalating regional tensions and human rights violations in Kashmir, calling for international intervention. This exchange marks a significant uptick in public accusations. Meanwhile, in Southeast Asia, Thailand's cabinet today approved a new creative tourism corridor initiative, linking Bangkok with Chiang Mai and Phuket, aiming to boost high-value tourism by promoting cultural experiences and local crafts. The project includes significant infrastructure upgrades and digital marketing campaigns. In East Asia, Japan's government announced a revised child future strategy, allocating an additional 3 trillion yen to tackle the nation's declining birth rate. Measures include expanded childcare subsidies and increased parental leave benefits, though experts remain skeptical about immediate impact. Watch for further international reactions to the escalating India-Pakistan rhetoric and potential impacts on regional security dialogues. In a landmark move, China today officially launched its comprehensive national AI ethics and governance framework. The framework, detailed by the Ministry of Science and Technology, outlines principles for responsible AI development, including data privacy, algorithmic transparency, bias mitigation, and accountability. It also proposes a tiered system for AI risk assessment and calls for international collaboration on AI safety standards. Minister Sheng Liban stated, "China seeks to contribute its wisdom to global AI governance and build a shared future in the intelligent era." This positions China as a proactive force in shaping global AI norms, moving beyond mere development to active governance. It will likely influence international standards, challenge Western-led initiatives, and significantly impact how multinational tech companies approach AI development and deployment within China and in partnership with Chinese firms. The framework's emphasis on social harmony and national security will also be closely scrutinized globally. From Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, an emergency African Union summit on food security concluded today with the announcement of the African Resilience and Food Sovereignty Pact. This ambitious $15 billion initiative, funded by member states and international partners, aims to boost agricultural productivity, improve supply chains, and create climate-resilient farming systems across the continent over the next 5 years. AU chairperson Musa Faki Mohammed declared, "This pact is our united stand against hunger and for a self-sufficient Africa." Across the continent, in Nigeria, tech startups are gaining momentum. The Lagos state government has announced a new innovation incubation fund to support early-stage digital enterprises. This initiative is particularly focused on fintech and agritech solutions, aiming to create a more vibrant local tech ecosystem. Over in the Pacific and Oceania, in Australia, new data released by the Australian Bureau of Statistics today showed a slight uptick in the monthly inflation indicator. This has raised concerns about persistent price pressures and fueled further speculation that the Reserve Bank of Australia may consider another interest rate hike at its next meeting. Treasurer Jim Chalmers acknowledged the figures, stating the government remains focused on responsible fiscal management. Elsewhere, following the visibility of the aurora australis in South Africa, observatories in New Zealand are now reporting increased solar flare activity. Skygazers on the South Island are hoping for spectacular southern light displays later this week, a rare treat linked to the current solar maximum. Following yesterday's direct talks in Istanbul, a spokesperson for the Turkish Foreign Ministry confirmed today that both Russian and Ukrainian delegations have agreed to establish a technical working group to discuss specific points of Ukraine's proposed peace roadmap. While no breakthroughs on core issues were reported, this small step is seen as a commitment to continue dialogue. However, fighting reportedly continues unabated in eastern Ukraine. Also, Saudi Arabia today announced a $5 billion investment in a new green hydrogen production facility in its futuristic city, Neom. This is part of the kingdom's broader strategy to diversify its economy away from oil and become a leading global supplier of clean energy. In Frankfurt, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde, speaking at a financial conference, delivered her strongest signal yet that an interest rate hike is imminent for the Eurozone. Citing stubbornly high inflation and robust wage growth, Lagarde stated the ECB must act decisively to anchor inflation expectations. Her comments sent ripples through European bond and stock markets, with the euro strengthening against major currencies. In the UK, the government faces fresh scrutiny over its post-Brexit trade performance as new figures from the Office for National Statistics indicated a widening trade deficit with non-EU countries, though exports to the EU saw a marginal increase. In Brazil, the government is reportedly considering new incentives for domestic electric vehicle manufacturing, following its recent lawsuit against a major Chinese EV giant over alleged unfair trade practices. Minister of Development, Industry and Trade, Geraldo Alckmin, hinted at measures to level the playing field and support national industry. Regionally, leaders from the Mercosur trade bloc are scheduled to meet later this week in Asunción, Paraguay, to discuss the stalled trade agreement with the European Union and strategies to enhance intra-regional trade, particularly in agricultural products and technology. In sports, the final matches of the Roland Garros or French Open tennis tournament are set for this upcoming weekend, with intense speculation around potential historic wins in both the men's and women's singles. And in tech, following Dell's push for on-premises AI, industry analysts are now debating the future balance between cloud-based and localized AI infrastructure, with several major hardware manufacturers reportedly preparing new enterprise-focused AI solutions for launch later this year. That's World Wrap for Tuesday, June 3, 2025. Like, follow, and subscribe for your no-noise daily download from around the world. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same globe.